This is a Cincy fan talking with LP. You can catch me on Twitter. That's a Cincy fan talking. You say it like it sounds, just leave off the G. If you have ideas for the show, you can reach me at Cincy_fan talk at yahoo.com. If you have any suggestions for the show, make sure you leave them there. Who knows, you might find yourself as part of the show. Any feedback would be definitely appreciated. And also, make sure you hit the Linktree page that's on my Twitter. Make sure you click on that. You can find all the different ways to contact me there. Enjoy the show. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of a Cincy Fan Talking with LP, and this is LP. Appreciate y'all stopping past for another episode of this podcast. As always, if you want to help out, click on that link tree. That link tree has a whole lot of causes that are near and dear to yours truly, so make sure you click on that stuff. If you can't donate, make sure you share it out, because if you can't donate, somebody else can. So make sure you share that out for your boy. Definitely appreciate that. I don't know if you heard or not, but the Bengals found a way to punt another one. And by punt, I mean royally snatch victory. Nah, let me rewind. Snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And it is messed up for real. Like, the Bengals keep finding ways to lose games that they should win, even though they should lose them, even though they should win them. It's crazy. But to be honest, and this is just to be real, I'm not really sure what people expected from the Bengals this season. I'm not really sure. It's like they expected the Bengals to like be these competing for playoff spots, and they should be 500 on the season and stuff like that. I don't really get that. The Bengals, and I'm just being completely honest, the Bengals are exactly where they should be with the pieces that they currently have. And I'm a true orange Bengals fan. Like, I really am. I've been a Bengals fan since as long as I can remember. And the Bengals have not been good for a very long time. And this is after they've been consistently good. And this is after they've been consistently bad. Just saying. They are right where they should be. Take a step back and think about what the Bengals currently have. They got a piecemeal offensive line in front of the quarterback of the future. Where they do that at? Like dead serious. Who gets the quarterback of the future and gets this QB1? Zero help. I spoke about this before. This is like you getting a house and getting no insurance for the house. Critical mistake. And then on top of that, you have your defense. You pay big bucks for this defense, totally disregarding the offensive line. You pay big bucks for the defense. Bam, cornerback get hurt. Bam, defensive tackle get hurt. All of a sudden, you got your star defensive lineman and your defensive tackle no longer playing quality minutes, and they upset about it. All the stuff is happening with your defense, and then they giving up big plays. They getting gashed. All of this stuff is happening. Then your main running back get hurt. It's a wonder that the offense is moving the ball the way that they are, which means that your QB of the future is the QB that you picked, and he's doing the job. Things are looking up. You are just a few pieces away from being where you need to be. Things are looking positive. Things are looking bright. But in Bengal land, we think the sky is falling. Anywhere else, it would be things are looking up. Not here, not in Bengaldom. And to be honest, it's not all on Bengaldom. It's not all our fault. The Bengals have to take some of the blame for this. You can't really put it all on the media and you can't put it all on the fans and be like, we're the ones tearing the Bengals apart. You got to look inside too. When you look at the Bengals and see that the Bengals are tearing the Bengals apart, you can't really blame it all on the fans. And I feel like a lot of the Bengals see that. Hell, I feel like we see that. What you have to understand is when you're divided as a team, the team can't shine. It's as simple as that. Very few teams in any sport, very few teams can win when the team is fighting amongst itself. And if you look at the teams that do well in any sport, those teams that do well when they're fighting amongst themselves are the teams that require the fewest amount of players. Think about it. Because if you're listening to this and you're going like, well, I can think of some teams that did well and they fought amongst themselves all the time. You're probably thinking basketball. How many players does it require in a basketball team? Five. That's all you need. And to be for real, to have a really good basketball team, how many players does it require to have a really good basketball team? Two, three tops. But in football, you need a whole lot more than two or three to be really, really good. You really do. And you can't have a lot of players split. It won't work. So here's the thing. Positivity is key in football, even more so than all of the other sports because there's so many players. Football is probably more so a corporate sport than all of the other sports. It's one of those sports that's kind of like those moral retreat sports where, it's kind of like where the person comes in and does one of those speeches where everybody has to come together and the first day of school or like the first day of work where it does one of those team building camps and stuff like that. Football lends itself to that. Zach Taylor is talking all the culture stuff and everything, and everybody's kind of giving them hell and grief or whatever. And when you really think about it, it's true. Zach Taylor is not going to get the team that he wants. And when you think about it, he really doesn't have his players. And people are going to be like, well, he should be able to win, and he's not going to be able to win because he's not a great coach. But when you really think about it, think about all the players that are giving him shit. Think about all the players that are voicing their distaste and that are pissed off. They're not his players. They're not the players that he drafted. They don't want to be there. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Zach Taylor fan. I don't know if the guy can coach. I don't. I don't know if he's the best guy for the job. I don't know if he needs to be there. But here's the thing. You don't either. Mike Brown doesn't. I don't know if he's qualified. Nobody does. But here's the thing. We're doing him a disservice if we're trying to judge him on being the best coach that he can be with Marvin Lewis's players. I said this last week. I'm all for using Marvin Lewis's culture because I feel like he did a really good job building a great culture. But at the same time, You can't judge somebody based on their players because they might not fit Zach Taylor's scheme. Look at it like this: you're brought in as the CEO of a company, or maybe as the principal of a school or something like that. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to see who fits what you want to do and who doesn't fit what you want to do. That's what you're going to do. If you see people, maybe they do well, but they don't fit your vision, would you be upset if you had to keep them? Maybe maybe they did well for the other person that was there before, but they don't necessarily fit what you do. Would you be upset if you had to keep this person? I'm sure you would. I feel like that is what Zach Taylor's going through right now. I feel like he has to keep certain people that he doesn't want to keep. And then you flip it, these people that are there, they're being underutilized because they're in a situation where they're being they're being put on a team where the person doesn't want them there. The leader doesn't want them on the team anymore, but they feel like they have value. They still feel like they're good players. It's time to part ways with people. And it's time to part ways with people for the good of all parties. Carlos Dunlap, I feel like, still has good years. Maybe it's not with Cincinnati, but it's for somewhere. And by the way, maybe Carlos Dunlap's not doing what he's supposed to do by doing it in the way he's doing it. Maybe putting up the house for sale is not the best move, and I feel like he understood that by pulling that shit down and pulling that post down. Not the best move, but either way, that's a sign of frustration right there, and everybody gets frustrated. Not the best move, but stuff like that, it pulls the positivity level of the team down, and you can't have that on your franchise. Somebody needs to make a move. We're going to find out how good of a coach Zach Taylor is by simply, does this guy stay on the team? We're going to find out how good of a leader Zach Taylor is. Everybody's watching. This is why people like Zach Taylor get paid. Everybody's not built to be a leader because leaders have to make decisions like this. The tight end, the assistant coach, they can hide and they can go like, well, I don't need to make this decision. They can duck off in their respective rooms. But the leader has to stand point and they have to take the bullets. And pro tip, whatever decision you make is going to be the wrong one. People aren't going to like the decision that you make. You have to be the person that likes your decision. You have to be, because that's what leaders do. 72% of people hate your decision, just flat out. And as a leader, you have to understand that. Most people hate every decision that you make. If you look on Twitter, you'll see people that hate everything that most people do. That's just how it is. But you have to understand that once you decide something, that's that's you as a coach. So we're gonna find out what Zach Taylor is made of. And notice I said nothing about wins and losses. People that are great in this season based on wins and losses, that makes no sense to me. This season for me is based on three things. One, does Joe Burrow stay healthy? That's the main denominator for me. Does does Joe Burrow stay healthy? Number two, Does the defense get better? That's going to be big because the defense that's going to be really really key. I feel like Joe Burrow is going to progress. If he stays healthy, that's going to be super key. But if this defense doesn't get better, it doesn't really matter what the offense does. So Joe Burrow's health is one, the defense is two, and three. Can Zach Taylor keep this team together through everything that happens in this season? To me, wins and losses are irrelevant. I mean, I told this story before on one of my earlier podcasts. Like, and this is very very minor in regards to like an NFL season. But my first year coaching junior high school, I mean, I tried to coach based on wins and losses, and I learned super fast. It was based on me getting through the year and then building on the next season because we were absolutely trash. I had to keep the team together. That was the goal because everything just went crazy. I had to build for next season. I feel like Zach Taylor has to build for next season. He has to do those three things. If he can't do those three things, the next two seasons are going to be absolutely trash. So we'll see what he can do. And really, he's going to have to get rid of some of these players that we really, really like. So if he doesn't, they're just going to tear up the team. And I feel like they really liked it here, but they feel like they can do other things somewhere else. And I don't think that's a knock on them, you know? I don't think they hate Cincinnati. They just don't really care for the vision anymore. And I think it's unfair to say, hey, F them, fuck them or whatever. Nah, that's not fair. People change. People's visions change. Us as fans, we see the orange and black and everybody's supposed to love it here forever, but did you care about your job forever? Did you want to stay where you were for the rest of your natural life? These are jobs to these people. These are jobs to these players. You know, you see it as, your favorite franchise. They see it as a stepping stone to something better, just as you see your job. Sometimes we need to see it through that prism. But I know you guys are fans, so I get it. Hey, I'm a Cincy fan talking, so I get it. We'll be right back. And welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So, a weird question popped up. So, I'm gonna kind of put this out there. I put this out on Twitter too. Do people hate positivity? Like fans and people in general? Like, do people hate positivity? I personally feel like it starts kind of early. People hating positivity. I say life is good at the end of every single class. I kind of close out the class with that, and I'll always get a couple of people saying, you know, life ain't that, this, that, and the third. And I get it. Life can be hard. People go through things, and you can't really see that life is good. You got to appreciate it. Even when things are tough, you got to appreciate the little blessings that you get, you know. And I get as a kid, you don't really see that. You kind of get the stuff that you see, and you can't really see the forest from the trees. I get that as a kid, but as you get older, I would think that you could kind of see it a little bit more and appreciate it. But it's just strange that a lot of people can't see past that. And as the kids grow up and they get older and older and older, it's just like a certain level of toxicity that is just out there. Like you see it in sports, like you see it in the way people live their lives. And trust me, I'm not using Twitter as like the judge of this. Trust me on this because like if you're using Twitter to judge stuff like this, then I mean, you would think that life is hell and like like it would be absolutely awful. Like I'm using everyday life and the stuff that I see and just the way people talk and just the way people move. Like I'm using that, but I'm gonna put it out on Twitter just to see people's answers. But I mean, it's just crazy to see not really the negativity, but just the just the lack of accepting positivity. I mean, I guess the way to put it is just the the overall acceptance of something negative happening and like the rejecting of positivity. Yeah, I put it like that. The rejecting of positivity. Like somebody saying something positive to you and then like you not receiving it. I mean, I'll say hi to somebody, just to say hi, hi, and nothing coming back or like a mean mug, and I'm like what the fuck I do to you? Like, like don't nobody say hi to you? Like you don't get a wave? Like nobody ever speaks to you in life? Well, like I don't get that. I mean, like it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. And I don't really see this as a complaint, more so as a public service announcement. I put it out there like that. This would be a public service announcement. Um, think positive out there, all right? Because the way I see it, positivity breeds positivity. I mean, you can't expect to get positivity if you don't give positivity. That's the way I always see it. This is what I tell the kids in class. You can't get positive if you don't give positive. It doesn't work that way. You can't be out here acting negative and then get positive energy back. It just doesn't work that way. Like a smile goes a long way. I mean, even if you don't feel like smiling, if somebody speaks to you, you know, just speak back. Doesn't cost anything. Somebody say hi, you just say hi. You know, I'm not saying, you got to answer that weird question. Why you ain't smiling? That's just weird because I don't feel like it. Like, no, nobody's saying that. I mean, that's weird. Nobody's demanding that you smile, but I'm more like of the whole positive aura thing. That's more my bag. I mean, demanding a smile just cause that's just weird. Like, that's that's off in another realm where guys are out here walking the streets like, hey, why don't you smile or something? Chill out. Like that's just weird. Like think better. Think better pickup lines cuz like let's not be weird. That's real 93 of you there. That's something different. So just kind of thinking about that. I don't know why that popped in my brain, but that's something I was thinking about. So um be positive, think positive. Usually positive things come to you. I say usually because I mean this is life, and I mean nobody knows what life will give you. So I mean all you can do is what you can do. I mean you're thinking positive, you're being positive. Eventually the positivity comes to you. Nothing's guaranteed, so all we're doing out here is trying. All right, you be as positive as you can, and then you see what happens. Life is funny, so I mean we do what we can. All right. So until next week, we'll meet again. Make sure you catch me on the socials. Love to chat with you. You give me a follow. Definitely follow back. Until we meet again, life is good. Catch you next week. If you're not ready for the conversation to end, I'm not either. Make sure to catch me on Twitter. That's a Cincy fan talking. Leave off the G at the end of it, and we can keep the conversation going. Also, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button so you can catch the next episodes. The episodes will drop every Tuesday. If there's a change in that, I'll make sure to let you know. Appreciate the support. As always, life is good.